crazy. Do your intro swallow louder. Well, louder swallower. Fuck, never mind.
Louder. The more you try to, like, make it funnier, it sounds worse.
Well, I know you're a loud swallower, so that's something to add to the fucking list of things I know about Kaycee.
So, welcome to Figuring It Out, where we dive deeper into our life, relationships, and our mental health. I'm Kaycee,
Hello.
and we're joined by Jason.
The legendary himself, Jason.
And today we're going to be tackling a topic that's way overdue, which is breaking the stigma around mental health.
Elaborate on that, Kaycee. What's the stigma?
The stigma is how people try to, like, dumb down mental health or, like, completely, like, disregard it.
Like, you look crazy for
like, yeah. Like, yeah, if you go to therapy, like, people call you crazy and so on. One question I have is, why is it still so hard to talk about something that almost all of us struggle with at some point in our lives? And how do we start changing that? And I honestly believe that we're changing that right now by talking about it.
You see something, say something. That's the whole thing we taught as kids. So why does it not attribute to us being adults? Like, you know what I mean? You see someone struggling, like, you know, there's experiences where you kind of, like, actually a really good example on this, and it's not a long story, don't worry, but it's a really good example. Is I was with somebody at a library, and I was walking by, and this guy was, like, screaming, and this girl broke up with him, and he was like, I'm gonna kill myself, I'm gonna do a lot of things. He was, like, crying and stuff, and, like, he was threatening me, and he's like, what are you looking at? Like, I was only 18 at this time. He's like, I'm gonna kill you too. Before, like, he was just going crazy, and then like, I told the librarian, and the librarian actually got mad because we reported the cops on him to get help, to get support, you know, because he was acting threatening and stuff. We told the librarian's like, why did you bring the cops around? I was like, I couldn't believe that. Now, everyone else, like, staff came to me after and was like, I don't know what's the deal with the owner, like, you did the right thing type thing.
Yeah.
And they went to get out because he went to jump off a parking lot. Like, he's like, I'm going to jump off the parking lot, no one's going to stop me. He, like, ran to the parking lot to jump. And then, like, someone, like, went up there to talk to him and stuff. So it was like, because we got the help he needed, right? And that was like, and like, that was like a story I'll never forget for sure. But it was like, oh, you know, you gotta get the help you need. Now, the police officer was a dumbass, and he drove right past the parking garage. He didn't even know, like, Buddy would have been gone if it wasn't for, like, yeah, I'm sorry, like, the police officer was just like, oh, where's the parking garage? Like, I've never been here before. It's a small fucking town. Like, dude, you gotta find the parking. It's pretty easy. It's the only parking garage right there, actually, in town. Like, everyone from my town would know what the hell I'm talking about. It's not fucking hard. Find the only parking lot that's, like, 2 floors. Like, oh, I wonder, is it over here? Oh, let's go get some pizza first. Like, I don't know what the cop was thinking.
Let's go get some pizza.
I locked eyes with the cop car, and I'm like, I just drives by, no lights on, nothing. I'm like, see, and that's the example we get back to, is, like, about mental health and stuff. Like, it should have been taken more serious, and it wasn't. Yeah. And I think that's the whole moral of the story. I told you it wasn't long. See, I can speak quick.
Good job, Jason. That was quick. Everyone applaud him for not taking 5 years.
Smart ass. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean by calling you a smart ass. See?
Woo!
I'm clipping that.
Woo!
I'm the audio. I'm clipping that. I'm putting that in as a clip.
I'm sorry, I had to do it.
You know what? I'm gonna get a whole compilation by the end of this. Examples of why Kaycee's a smart ass. I'm gonna have, like, clips of, like, these moments. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. All right, smart ass.
And I'm gonna do my own separate version of clips on why Jason is a smart ass.
Oh, good luck. Good luck, because
You're not a smart ass? What?
We're changing topics here. We need to be serious here, and frankly, we don't have the time to talk about me being a smart ass. We have no time for that.
No, because it would be an endless topic.
No. No. Listen, Kaycee, you're supposed to be very serious about this. Okay, this is supposed to be like, you can't be taking up time. We talked about this before the thing. Kaycee was
I'll stop.
Like, we gotta be on topic this time. It took a minute too long before, and all da. And now look at her trying to talk about me being a smartass. You need to be a little more professional, Kaycee. like myself, I am a very professional Kaycee.
It's fun being out of pocket. So, one story that I do want to share, I've dealt with a lot of people who have wanted to end their life before, and like I've had my own personal struggles with this for a lot of my life. Do I want to end my life anymore? No, because I'm so forth healed from that. Like, I don't feel like that's where I need to be. I feel like I need to be here. I realized mental health had a stigma when I was in school, because a lot of the things that I went through, I was severely judged for. I feel like I was never really able to get the proper help that I needed because everything was too much. Or like people would just leave me by myself and just be like, here, you're fine. That's not how you help someone. That's literally how you make them worse, in my opinion. But like, I had the strength to bring myself out of that, obviously. I have hid my struggles out of fear of being judged a lot of times, which is why I'm doing this now, because I'm not scared anymore. I can talk about whatever I want because it's my life. And if you can't deal with my struggles, then I don't know what to tell you. Like,
round of applause for Kaycee. I'm holding the phone, but
and obviously, like, speaking about it does help me heal, and it's helping me feel better inside, and, you know, having these conversations between me and Jason are really helping. Especially with other people in my life, too. Like, I have a lot of support now, and I am forever grateful for that.
And I agree. Since we've done this podcast, like, I am just excited for the next one to come around. Like, I just can't wait. It's just so, because I don't know, like, through all the stress in the day and stuff, or like week rather, because we're weekly. It's like, I look forward. I want to thank you for your story, of course, Kaycee. And I want to acknowledge it, of course. I don't want to just like go on, but I appreciate it. And I'm very thankful you didn't do that. And I'm very glad to have you in my life, because since you've been in my life, and I think you were saying indirectly the same thing, but like, since you haven't done those things, since you didn't do that, like, you've made a huge exponential shift in the direction of the life I wanted to go. I thought I was just going to be positive influence on TikTok, just a little to know, you know, not that many followers, maybe I'll get them, maybe I won't, and odd thing. But then when you created this podcast and added me onto it, you gave me that opportunity to, like, that positivity that you and I share, that want to spread. You ended up opening those doors where we have, like, you by yourself is positive, me by myself is positive, but like together it tends to create this, like,
I don't really know how to say it. Like, I'm just like, it just like enhances the positivity and the oh my gosh, what am I looking for to say right now?
What I was gonna put when you said, like, I'm not afraid anymore, like, you know what exactly reminded me of?
Home Alone.
Yes, that scene in Home Alone. Like,
I'm not afraid anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I remember. Yeah, it's like the fuck.
After I said it too, I kind of like the scene replayed in my head. I should be a voice actor. I'm not afraid anymore.
You can't even... See, that's how you mocked me last episode. You can't be... I can be a voice actor. I can do Elmo. You know, I can do Elmo. Mickey Mouse. You know, I can do Mickey Mouse. Like, I can do so many voices. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, you don't let me go down the rabbit hole, because that's an endless one, because I can do a lot of voices. So many voices. What's the voice that I love doing? I don't even know now. I can do, like, a somewhat Donald Trump, which I should do on the episode a little bit. I should definitely do that. I should do it. I should do it.
Try it right now. This is Jason's impression of Donald Trump.
Okay, let's do this. Mental health. We're going to be talking about mental health. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Not as great as my wall, but it's going to be great. And Mexico's going to pay for the mental health crisis. Okay? Mexico's going to pay. We're going to be... Listen, Kaycee. Listen. You don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I'm Donald J. Trump. I know. So, what we're going to be talking about is kind of like suicide. We're going to be talking about a really serious thing. I can't do it. I tried, but I can't do it.
You got out of it, like, when you kept going, but it was good at this time.
It was good at first, like that. You know? But...
Yeah. So, I don't know. Did you want to share, like, your personal connection? Like...
Yeah, I'll share on that. Like, I've had moments where definitely wanted to take life of myself. Clarify. And I've never had the thoughts for a long time, honestly. Like, I've had thoughts of just, like, hating myself at points or wishing I was better in some ways, but I never, like, had those suicidality thoughts in a long time, which is great. And definitely, I think, attributed to this podcast has saved a part of me that I thought that wasn't... I think it was suppressed a lot, because in my past relationship and a lot of things, being this positive tend to bite me in the ass, or tend to people just like at work, for example, or stuff like that. Like, I make everyone laugh. There's not a single person except for one guy. But we're gonna get there. That's my goal. Everyone challenges me to make them laugh, and I will. But at work, I literally make everyone laugh every day. Like, everyone loves the shifts with me, because I genuinely try to make everyone's day a little better with my one-liners, which are funny jokes. That's what she said. Like, you know, all these funny, stupid things that you wouldn't expect in a professional field. I tend to bring that out in every single one. You know what I mean? Like, there was an example where my head boss, which you know, she has to be serious for her job and stuff. And I cracked her up so bad because she thought a customer had a pen. So they watched the cameras me do this. I hid the pens from the customer just to be like, do you have a pen by chance? I worked so hard, and she found the pen in her office. And I was like, and the other worker brought it to me, was like, she found her pen in her office. And I was like, give me that. And I, like, handed it to her, and I rushed over to that, all aggressive and stuff, in front of my top manager. And I, like, went over there all tough guy and stuff, and I was like, did you happen to lose a pen? You know, and I, like, put it right to her face, and she's laughing. When she sees me storming to her with this pen in my hand, she is roaring the whole store. Like, business hours, she's laughing, roaring. And that's the type of person I am. Like, I do that. I'm over dramatic, sure, but I do it because I want everybody to be happy and smiling, you know? And I think that, you know, I've embraced that side of me finally, and I think that some people just can't, whether they don't trust it or I don't know what's wrong with them. You know, like, ex-partner or whatever, like, I don't know why I stopped being that positive person. I think it was the betrayal and the hurt, which it's very rare that I don't be that way to somebody, but when I've been through as much as I've been through, I just can't turn it on for certain people. I feel too worried that I'll get hurt again, so I don't do that anymore for a certain person. But everyone else in my life, like, I tend to try. And as for, like, you know, self-elimination is another word for it. There's moments where, you know, when everything was breaking down, I remember just being in the bathroom and having a vape, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. And I hauled that vape about probably 30 to 40 times at one point, and just laid there and just couldn't even open my eyes. I was just laying there. I just hauled that thing over and over and over, and I was like, I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna feel better. And I just had like this panic attack, and I just like laid there, and I was like, this is it. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Like I can't. Just tears, and it was just like so stupid. And then like I was fine, and I was like, I got so much to live for. I got so many things. Like, why am I being stupid? And I just like got out of it. And that was the last time. That was the last time I really did it. And I realized I attribute all of any self-harm or any, suicidality has always been linked to that one individual and never to anything else. It's always been them. It's
always a certain person, I find.
Yeah. And that person, like, I remember, like, I was so wrapped up in that individual for a long time. And then, like, they made me feel really good. And then out of nowhere, they just drop, like they do. They love bomb and they just, like, drop things on you and they don't like you anymore type thing. And I think at one point I just broke. And I remember, like, seeing something, like a metal thing. And I just got out of the car because I was arguing with my parents about it. Because they were like, she doesn't love you. Like, you need to realize this. Stop going back. Stop doing this to yourself. And I was like, you guys just don't get it. Like, I knew things behind the scenes they didn't know, but they assumed. And, I was like, you guys don't get it. Like, no, she's just confused. She doesn't, and they were like, get out of the car if you're going to be like this. So I was like, I had to walk home. So I remember just taking a long path and I seen like I seen this like metal thing, and it was the last time I ever did this, but like, and it was a long time ago, months, but like I just punched it as hard as I could. And my fist was like bleeding, like 100%, like there's blood just pouring out of my fist. And I was just like, and I just walked as it was snow on the ground still. So this was like last winter. And like, I remember like I busted my fist open. I was just so hurt. And I was just like begging. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't know what to do with myself anymore. Like, I just need to know where to fall. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. Like, I was so messed up. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I thought for some reason, I thought that was a healthy mindset to be in. And I don't know why. It's just all I ever knew.
Right? Manipulation.
Yeah. And when someone makes you to that point and just makes you feel like you have anger, just makes you feel like you're this angry person, which you've known me long enough, Kaycee. I think you can say for sure that I'm not like an angry person. Like, I think I'm very far from that. You know what I mean? Like, even when people do things I don't like, I don't even like. Actually, you're more angry than I am. I'm going to be honest. You're a little crazy, but it's okay.
I'm a little crazy? What?
You're not editing that out. That's stated. That's stated. But no, all jokes aside, like, I think you're more vocal about things that bother you than me, which is not a bad thing. It's just that I tend to put myself in people's shoes. So do I want somebody? I don't know what kind of day people are having. So if someone does something to make me uncomfortable, you know what I mean? As long as they're not like physically like touching me in the sense like punching or anything like that, then I'm fine. Like, if you have to say whatever you have to say, if you had to be rude, whatever, I might say something to you if I'm having a bad day myself. But normally I just let it slide, because at the end of the day, it's like another person, they're having a bad day, whatever's going on in their life. I'll usually try to empathize. I had somebody who wanted to fight me at a house party, my only house party I really went to. And this guy was so jealous of me because one girl that he liked, he heard that she liked me or whatever at the time. And I remember like him being so jealous. And he like talked to me for 3 hours. I tried to talk this man down. I ended up getting punched a bunch. But I remember trying to talk him down. He was like, if you get up from the couch, and your son's gonna be a pussy like you, you're gonna be like, do you want your son to be like you and not fight and and all this, and your partner was right to leave you and all, like, the worst things you could possibly think of just to get me angry. And we were drinking and stuff, but I still stayed calm, and I was like, I'm not fighting you. I have so much to lose. I have a kid. I have so much to lose. I'm not fighting you. And he was like, if you step on the couch, I'm knocking you out. And like he literally, like, before he thought I was gonna get up, he sucker punched me like a bunch. Like, I had a bruise on my chest like that because he punched me a few times in the chest trying to get me to fight. And I just wouldn't fight because I just thought it was so immature of you. Like, I'm not gonna fight you. I have a kid. If I didn't have a kid, I have nothing to lose. But I have a kid. I have a future to think about. I'm not that aggressive person.
I'm sorry, I don't want to like cut you off, but like, even if you didn't have Hayden in the picture, like, it's still like, what does it benefit you?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to. I sat him up for 3 hours. Everyone walked out of the room. I didn't even pay attention because we were locked eyes because he was waiting for me to get up from the couch so he could knock me out. Apparently, so I stayed sitting on the couch, and I was trying to be like, let's respect this birthday party for this girl, the girl that he ended up liking or whatever. I was like, let's respect this party. Like everyone's left right now. Let's not have bad vibes. Let's have good vibes. I don't know you, you know me. And I put my hand out to shake his hand, and he slapped it away from me. And I was like, okay. And he stepped up to me. Now this drunk bitch. Oh my gosh, she's a bitch. It was starting to calm down. You know what she fucking had to say? She's like, listen, if both you guys are gonna be pussies, then be pussies about it. And I was like, why did you say that? And as soon as she said that, the self-cautious asshole guy that wanted to fight me all of a sudden, I ain't no pussy. He stands up and he's like getting over me. He's like, step up right now. Come on, step up. You know, your mother's a whore. Your mother's this. And I was like, I'm not fighting you. I'm not fighting you. And he kept punching me. And then because he couldn't fight me, his taller friend, which I knew even if I fought him, his friend's right there, 6'3", 6'4", like easily 200 pounds. This man is easily behind him. His friend, I knew he was going to step in. So like for me, I knew even if I could take this guy, there's no way in hell I'm taking both of them. You know, and his friend will step in. Anyway, they left. I thought they left. So I remember taking a bong rip. I took a bong rip. And as soon as I had the bong, before I put it down, this taller guy came running down the stairs, put me in a chokehold, hold me by the neck, had a fist to my jaw like this, and he's like, did you fucking speak bad about me when I was gone? And like he did this, and he like rubbed his like arm on me, like trying to demasculate me or whatever. And I was like, listen, I got nothing to lose. You're gonna knock me out or not? Like I straight up looked him in the eyes. Like most people would be fearful. I literally looked him, locked him in the eyes. I was like, are you knocking me out or not? Like, are we getting through this or are we not doing this? And like they knew that everyone was trying to rush them out and kick them out. And like I laid in bed and they opened the door on me. I closed the door on them. There was no lock on the door. I literally opened my eyes and they were literally laying by the bed and they were like, you step out of this room, I'm killing you. They're like, I'm going to kill you, 100%. Like they were that mad at me for no reason. And I was like, just go to bed. And I told them, drive safe. I would love meeting you guys. Nice to meet you. I was just killing with kindness because at the end of the day, that's the person I wanted to be. And I was like, listen, if I'm going to die that way, I'm going to die that way. Because at that moment, I truly was like, if they knock me out and like, you know, it's just, if it happens, it happens. And it didn't happen, thank God. Like I didn't have to deal with that. But it was definitely a scary situation. But at the end of the day, like I handled it the way I handled them with integrity because like I'm not gonna let like I always thought that I would like wuss out or be very scared. And of course I was shaking, but like I kept myself cool with them because at the end of the day, like whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna do. I think they look back at it probably to this day. I wanna believe that they learned something from it.
Hopefully.
Like learn generally that I wasn't a bad guy. You know, because at the end of the day, like everything my ex-partner says about me, I would be proving them right at that point. I would be proving everything she said about me right if I were to fight, if I were to be quick to fight. But anyone at that party, if they ever heard this, which I know one of them watches my TikTok, you know, the one who had the party, I see that she views my TikTok sometimes, so she might check this episode and hear this. But her and everyone else know that I had no bad intentions towards anyone. I'm very highly respectful. I just don't, you know what I mean? Like I'm not that type of person. I don't fight unless I have to, and if I do have to, it has to do with my family and my son, right? And that's like the only time like I would actually fight, like even for myself. Like it is what it is. If someone wants to so-called fight to protect my son, I'd do anything. But when it comes to myself, like just get it over with. Like I'm not gonna fight anybody because fighting gets you nowhere. It absolutely gets you nowhere, and anger is just such a horrible thing. You have to harness anger. And I think that's another time for another episode. But there's a way to harness anger. And I think I can speak on that a lot when the time comes. Upcoming episode, maybe later. But yeah.
Down the road, yeah.
Just in general, like the moral of that story, Kaycee, is that guy had so much from the male perspective. He was so insecure, so much like he had to prove himself as a man in front of this woman, and I think that's what a lot of men have to do in their head.
If you're trying to fight someone to prove to someone that you're a man, I'm sorry, in my opinion, you're not a man.
Yeah, right. And that's what I was trying to talk about. I was like, listen, you don't need to prove to me you're stronger than me. You don't need to prove anything to me. I was like trying to have a real hard to him. And I remember like taking my vape and like baking it, and he like smacked it out of my hand across the room. And he's like, no, you're fighting me now. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, why do you need to fight so bad? Like, did I call him insecure at one point? Yeah, maybe I did. But, but because it was just so ridiculous. Like, I just think men that are quick to anger, like, it's just, and I think that's a big problem with us men, because people say it's because men cannot internalize their sadness, or, they can't be
because
sad. Because
men's mental health is incredibly stigmatized.
Yeah, and in some ways, but what I find is like people are looking at the wrong thing, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is like people look at it like men can't cry, and that's why they're so angry.
I don't.
That's not the whole story. That's one part of the story. Yeah. There's so many puzzle pieces. Why men are angry is because I want to say, and it's may controversial, maybe you'll disagree, but it genuinely is because I think women's brains, and I can't speak on gay men or anything like that, but I can speak on straight men.
Yeah.
Women's brains tend to work very differently from men's, and I think men are taught growing up, like dads usually teach like very strict, this is the way it is, like a dad in the figure, this is the way you got to be, da da da. But women take, like, if you look at a single mother incidents with no father in the picture, the men turn out more feminine, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't have statistics for this, but I can just say from my perspective, right? Not saying it's a bad thing. They're more empathetic, though. They're more like kinder, but they're also more like family oriented, I find. Whereas with a father in the picture, it's a little different. And I think if you look at that as an example, I think that what I'm trying to say is like a man who's raised by their father in the picture tend to falter, or at least straight men tend to falter if they have a good relationship with their father. They tend to be like, I want to be like that man. I think men need to realize they're their own person,
and they're not someone else. Yeah,
they're not their father, right? Their father might have been a respectful man, you know what I mean?
But it doesn't mean that you're him. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're a bad person, but you're not your father. And I think most men thrive to be like their father, and that's great, but you're not your father. And I had to accept that. It's hard to accept, because I would always say, like, I would always do, like, when it comes to, like, religious practices or, like, Bible and stuff, when it comes to religion or faith, my dad was a super faithful man, and I always pushed myself to be, like, make him proud. And I didn't realize it. I didn't even realize it. But then I, like, had a realization. I was like, I'm not doing this for my faith with God. I'm not doing this for my faith. I'm doing this simply to make someone happy, and I need to be honest with God. I need to be honest with myself, and that's kind of, so I became this person that I can't say I don't love. I do love myself. I think I need to improve a lot of myself, but I think that I'm becoming someone thanks to this podcast, and thanks to just in general everything going on in my life and the good that's happened, which, as you know, Kaycee, with the apartment and stuff. I think that I'm starting to realize that, like, I have this gift and I need people to hear it. I need people to see it. And I believe you have that same gift, Kaycee, in different regards. So I'm so grateful that we crossed paths to be able to do this platform. I was just thinking, because I'm thinking big picture here, because I think that we have something very solid, and I think that this can grow into something bigger than we could imagine. I feel like we can really change lives. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a possibility at one point where we have a live studio audience, and we have, like, people asking us questions and stuff, like how we started and stuff, or we speak at, like, high schools. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think these are all possibilities. I think you need to dream big to achieve big. And I think that I have those goals in mind. I don't know if it's overwhelming for you or not, but I think you started this podcast, probably knew what you were getting yourself into. So, and I like the fact that you don't downplay those dreams, because I think they can become a reality to us if we work hard enough at it.
So, obviously, the stories that we just shared through our experiences are perfect examples of the stigma, and which is why we're breaking it down today, so that we can change the narrative and fix that. So having more open conversations does really help. I've also noticed that a lot of celebrities are coming out and speaking on their mental health, which is actually very helpful because they've stop helpful because they've like achieved bigger than I have, and obviously like I have dreams and goals, and just to see someone who is so much higher in the chain that also still struggles makes it a lot easier to continue to push, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, it does.
And obviously, like, representation in education is also good for changing the narrative. Speak openly when you can, and when you speak, replace weak with brave.
Speak openly when you can, but I speak too much. This is crazy. This is hypocrisy.
Yeah, but my iPad's almost dead.
Outrageous, I tell you. We need a democracy at this point. But I want to speak on something really quickly that you said, and I won't ramble on, okay? I'll be very to the point. When you brought up celebrities, that's what makes us different, Kaycee. We are everyday people living everyday struggles. We're not celebrities. We're not rich by no means. And unless you got like a piggy bank, like, you know, if you own a bank or something, I need to know that, Kaycee, because I didn't know that. That's crazy. So
I don't know
that on the side after this, because that's crazy. But that I know of, we're not rich. We're not famous yet. We will be. But at the same time, like, I'm not really looking for the fame part. Like, that's great, but
I just want to help people.
Yes, and that's what makes us different, is because celebrities always have, I wouldn't say always, but I think most celebrities, I can't trust the idea that a celebrity is not doing this for a publicity stunt or doing this for their own clout or their own, like, celebrities always tend to have people who get rich or celebrities have this like self-centered look in themselves. Even if you think they aren't, you never can fully trust it, because I mean, they're actors. They do this for a living. They look good in public. And you just can't trust that. Whereas we're developing from the very bottom. So when people listen to us, they're like, holy shit, okay, this is everyday people trying to make a difference. This isn't like some person that's like educated, or, you know what I mean? Because we already talked about the educated aspect of it. Like, education tends to numb your human connection, which we brought up in the first episode. So go back to that and listen to that. I always shout out our old episodes because I always implore people to really look at this journey that we're going through together. So go ahead, Kaycee.
Okay. So stigma exists, but silence only fuels it. Conversations like this is how we start to change things. If today's episode resonated with you, do please share it with someone who needs it. Don't just gatekeep it. We're trying to help people.
What's the middle ground, do you think? Since we don't have too much time left, what would be a middle ground that we can agree on, men and women alike, when it comes to mental health? What do you think a middle ground we would have? Something we can both agree on, that we both think there needs to be improvement on, and how we can improve on those things.
Oh,
that we
support.
Both struggle with.
Support.
Like what kind of support?
Like support from family and friends. Like personal experiences of mine, my feelings have always been minimized. I don't know if it's been. I know that you've had your fair share of emotional minimizing. So it really does affect a person.
So our middle ground is, to the viewers, emotions are real, and they're not pretend. They're not just something that, you know, that's just like something that you can just, like my parents always said, it's like, you got a kid, you got this, you got that, you know, you got to keep your head on straight. And it's like, yeah, I'm keeping my head on straight fine, but I'd like someone to talk to.
Yeah, you can't downplay your emotions when they're so heavy on you.
I have high emotions. That's just who I am, and I accept that now, and I'm embracing that through this podcast and through just talking with people like yourself, Kaycee, who also struggle with this high emotions that we have inside, because we've been so minimalized since we were young. And I think there's many people out there that have changed everything. I guarantee you there's a viewer, at least one viewer, that can relate to this message that I'm about to say. If you have changed your whole perspective and you remember thinking back, if you're looking back at being a kid consistently, I think you struggle with the same thing we've struggled with. And I think you probably do that too, Kaycee, is you think back when you were a kid and like, what changed? And it's because you've been minimalized so much to grow up that you lost the joys in life. And when I talked about my work experiences, because I want to bring that back to people. I want to bring that childhood fun back in people's life. It doesn't have to be serious. Life doesn't have to be scripted or filtered, right? Because that's not what life is. Life is unexpectedly beautiful. Life is so unexpected in every way. So why can't speech, why can't emotions be unexpected too? If we can normalize unexpectancy in everything we do, our lives will be so much easier because we do not expect the unexpected. We think we do. We try to prepare for it. But if we just say random things like we do, Kaycee, if we just have a little bit of fun there and stuff in the world and at work and everywhere else, if we can enjoy that fun, have those little laughs, the world will be such an easier place because we're ready. We're more ready than we ever were for the unexpected things and events in life. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, thank you for that. That was actually very beautifully said. I do want to encourage you guys to go fill out the form that I have made. I am actually going to link it in my Instagram bio. My Instagram is just Kaycee Timmons, literally. It's not very hard to find at all. So that you can share your own experiences and then we could like kind of give you advice. I know I talked about this last week, but I didn't actually put it out yet. But it will be out by the time this episode airs. But next week, we're going to be diving into how social media impacts our mental health. And trust me, it's not all that bad.
Okay, this is gonna be it. I'll be ready for that one. That's gonna be awesome. I have a lot to say about that one for sure, and I cannot wait to have that episode with you, Kaycee, because, like I said, these episodes have been healing journey after healing journey, and I think, like you said yourself, they are for you. And I think, I don't have anything else to say.
No, I think this went really well.
But I'm never speechless. I will say that.
So this is us signing off for this week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to us.
And comment on our post.
Yes.
Comment on Kaycee's post. Make it viral because
comment, engage.
You can be part of this change by engaging our content, sharing it to your friends and family, the podcast.
Repost our things. Do anything you can to get it out there because we want to help people.
Yes, and we genuinely care, and it's not an act. It's not a. We know what it's like to be. What's the word? I don't want to use that word, but we know what it's like to be downplayed. That's the word I'm looking for. And we encourage people not to be downplayed any longer and to be your true self.
And be open.
Absolutely.
So we love you all and hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and we'll be back next week again with another topic.
Love y'all. Stay safe out there in this crazy world, and we will be back next week.
Peace.